I walked around for 2 years after filing bankruptcy in 2010, believing something that I never even said out loud, that I was the kind of man that things like this happened to. That belief, not the bankruptcy and not the empty accounts and not the 5 properties I lost, but that belief was the thing that almost finished me. If you're rebuilding right now, this video is about that belief and how to kill it. I want to ask you something directly. When you think about yourself right now, not who you were before the loss, not who you plan to be, but who do you believe you are today? Because most men in a financial rebuild are carrying an identity that belongs to the collapse, not to the comeback. After 2010, I was functional. I got up every day. I went through the motions. From the outside, I looked like a man who was handling it, but inside, a story was running on a loop in my head. You're the man who lost $600,000 in real estate. You're the man who drained his retirement account and filed bankruptcy. You're the man who did everything right and still had nothing to show for it. And now you're behind everyone your age. That story wasn't a motivation problem. It was a strategy problem. It was an identity problem. And I didn't even know I was carrying it around until years later. I see it in every man now who reaches out to me, men in their 40s and their 50s with real skills, real drive, and real experience. They start and they stall, start and stall, and they can't figure out why nothing gains traction. It's the identity every single time. I'm 58, I've lost everything 3 times, $600,000 in real estate in 2008, $1 million travel company to COVID, and nearly $500,000 in a fix and flip fund wiped out by 10 interest rate hikes in 10 months. And the hardest lesson across all 3 wasn't financial. It was this: you cannot build a new life on top of an old identity that was built around failure. You have to shift first, then the build follows. So here's the first thing I want you to know. Your identity is not your history, it's your decision. Most men believe their identity is something that happens to them, that it's formed by their experiences and that's just who they are now. But that's not how identity actually works. Identity is a story you tell yourself repeatedly until you believe it, which means it can be rewritten, not erased, but rewritten. The losses are real, the pain is real, but the label you attach to those losses is a choice. After my second collapse, when COVID took my travel company, I made a deliberate decision about who I was going to be on the other side of it. Not who I had been, not who I wished I still was, but who I was choosing to become. That decision didn't fix anything financially, but it changed the quality of every decision I made afterward, because I was making them from a different identity, a builder, not a victim. Your identity is not your history. It is your decision, so make it deliberately. The second point, the man who lost everything and the man who rebuilds are not the same man. This is the shift most men resist because it feels like betrayal, like you're leaving something behind or pretending the loss didn't happen. But it's not betrayal, it's evolution. You're evolving. The man who lost everything had a certain set of beliefs, habits, and blind spots that contributed to the situation he ended up in. That man's blueprint produced that result. The man who rebuilds is different. He has the same skills and experience, plus the hard education that only loss can provide. He sees risk differently now. He makes decisions differently now. He values different things. You are not trying to get back to who you were. You are building who you are becoming. Those are completely different directions. And the sooner you stop looking backward for your identity, the sooner the rebuild accelerates. Point 3, how you speak to yourself determines what you build. Pay attention to the words you use when you think about your situation. Do you say things like, I lost everything? Or do you say, I've been through something that most men never survive? Do you say things like, I'm starting over? Or do you say, I'm building something new with more knowledge than I had the first time? These are not positive thinking tricks. They are accurate reframes because the second version of each statement is actually more true than the first. You have survived something that breaks most men. That is not weakness. That is evidence of a level of resilience that most people will never be tested for. The way you speak to yourself becomes the lens through which you see every opportunity and every decision in your rebuild. So get the language right. Point 4, act from the identity you are building, not the one you are leaving. This is where it gets practical. Identity doesn't shift through thinking alone. It shifts through action, specifically through repeatedly acting in alignment with who you're choosing to become, even before you feel like that person. A man who is rebuilding his finances makes deliberate decisions about money, even when the numbers are small. A man who is building income acts on opportunities, even when he's not confident. A man who is rebuilding his identity as someone capable of success makes the next move before he's ready. Every action that aligns with your new identity is a vote for that identity. Every action that defaults to the old story is a vote for staying stuck. You don't need 100 votes on day one. You need just one, then another, and then another. So every external rebuild, money, income, assets, stability, it all follows an internal one, not the other way around. And the men that I've watched rebuild successfully, including myself across 3 attempts, all made a quiet internal shift before the external results showed up. They stopped identifying with the collapse and started identifying with the comeback. That shift is available to you right now, today, before a single dollar changes in your account. It costs nothing. It requires no credentials. It requires only a decision made deliberately, repeated daily, and backed by action. Now, if you want a step-by-step system, instead of trying to figure this out on your own, I put together a free 30-day rebuild plan specifically for men in this situation. And it's organized into 4 weeks. First week is stabilizing. Second week is cash flow. Third week is income creation. And the 4th week is the long-term rebuilding. You'll find the link in the description below. And then next Monday, we're going to get tactical. We're talking about the one number that stops the financial bleeding and exactly how to find it no matter where you are right now. That one drops on Monday, so don't miss it. Now, if you found this helpful, please subscribe, like, and share with other friends or family members who need to rebuild as well. And let's rebuild together. That's Wealth Mode.